Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for Wednesday, October 21st. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mr. Lang?
Here.
Ms. Esper?
Here.
All right, the minutes from our October 7th meeting were prepared and sent to us in advance of this meeting. Hopefully you've had a chance to review. Unless there are any other omissions or corrections, do we have a motion to approve?
I would so move that we approve the minutes of our previous meeting on October 7th, 2020.
Second.
I will second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
We'll move on to the Old Lighthouse Museum project update.
I would like to report we are finishing the punch list items. The project should be complete by the end of October, and then we'll be able to close the grant out and get our reimbursement.
Thank you. Any questions about the project? Any comments? All right, we'll move on to old business, if there is any.
There is none.
All right, that brings us to the tabled business. If we can have a motion to remove both items from the table so that we can further discuss them, we would entertain that motion.
I would so move that we remove from the table the 2021 annual zoo hours, fees, programs, and contracts, and the 2021-2022 administrative fees and contracts.
I would second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, our last meeting, we discussed both these, and what we typically do is when it's got anything to do with the next year's contracts, fees, we present them, then table them, and give an opportunity for the public to comment. So have we received any public comment on either the zoo hours, fees, or programs, or the administrative fees and contracts?
No, we have had no public comment. However, it has been on the website.
Thank you. We did have discussion on these at our last meeting. Are there any other board comments or questions on either of these two items? Hearing none, is there any public comment on these two items? Hearing none, do we have a motion from the board?
I would make a motion, if I could do it, a joint motion, to approve the 2021 annual zoo hours, fees, programs, and contracts, and to approve the 2021-2022 Michigan City Parks and Recreation Department fees and contracts.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, we'll move on to new business.
There is none.
All right, then, superintendent's report, please. Mr. Shin.
Testing. I would like to report tonight about the zoo. Jamie Huss, the zoo director, would like to share that the zoo won 2 more grants. These are from the LaPorte County Unity Foundation, and they are the Community Power of Good grants. Washington Park Water Foundation and bottle refilling station and signage will be worked on for $1,200. This will replace the old drinking fountain in the hallway of the Discovery Building. Renovation of the American Raptor exhibit for $1,300. This will start the repairs to the crow and vulture exhibit of the top mesh where the raccoons get in. I would like to say I've looked at the zoo, visited the zoo in the last couple weeks, and it still brings in a very good crowd. People make it a destination from all around. A lot of kids. It's a very nice place, and people are really enjoying the zoo. We have the Boo at the Zoo coming up, and because the governor's speech did not change our level. We're still at level 5, apparently. Boo at the Zoo will take place as of now. Next, I would like to report on the catwalk over the pier. Work had begun last week to repair the column of the catwalk. By the time we hold our next meeting, I will be able to report more in depth. As of now, only temporary shoring is being constructed to support the structure while it's going to be repaired. Also, I've been working with some engineering students to inform and safeguard the general public at the pier during hazardous conditions. Our lighthouse or pierhead is a destination of many tourists and local people. When weather conditions are calm, it's the walk that is fairly safe. At times of hazardous conditions, it's not safe. So the engineering students from Purdue have contacted me to take on the challenge of designing a safety concept that would inform people of the danger of walking on the pier during hazardous conditions. I had a meeting with these students and their instructor, and it was very interesting because they really are excited about the challenge to come up with some type of barrier that would be safe yet effective. It'll be interesting to see, and I'll report on some of their ideas. North Point Pavilion, I'm sorry to report that the rain watershed resistance method did not have any effect to stop Sunday's rainwater from entering the second floor stairwell. Board member Kent Lang, maintenance foreman Chris Kaufman, and I inspected this area of North Point Pavilion and decided that further steps must be taken to divert this watershed that flows into the building. It's a constant problem we've had apparently before I came on board here. So for 3 or 4 years, water has been leaking in, and we may have to look at some type of trench drain, as I mentioned in one of my other reports. The film production. The filming of a scene or two for an upcoming movie that was completed on October 8th. It was convenient for the production company to use our Washington Park beach because they were able to depict the ocean and not have to travel to the coast. The following day, there had been some public comment asking why Washington Park was closed, when in fact every portion of the park was open except for Lot 1. So in the future, I will make it a point, if there are any other film productions in Washington Park, to make every effort to inform the public that the other gates are open. The Senior Center, very important item on my list. The Senior Center, board members asked if I would sit down with them in their meeting last Tuesday, and I was urged by them, most of them, to reopen the Senior Center, but that was against my better judgment. As I said before, they are a fragile section of our population, and I had to put my foot down, but they all understand, and I could not allow the Senior Center to be open with the COVID numbers so high. However, with a little research of some other senior centers that are open, not a lot of them are, I spoke with Shannon, and she and I came up with the idea that we would rehire the director, Tara, and ask Tara to come back in the capacity at City Hall to start to interact with the seniors on the phone and on the computer. We found out from the meeting we had with the seniors board that there are some seniors with no spouses that are very lonely. So as soon as we could, we brought Tara back on board, put her on the phone, and she has now started her calls in the last 2 days, making contact with the seniors that have nobody to talk to. So this is a very big thing. I think that it's going to be good for the whole senior center. I know they're urging to have it open, but we're going to be coming up with some ideas. Shannon's very creative, and so is Tara, with some computer virtual programs, possibly serving soup curbside and things like that. And I think the seniors, I called the board members, and they're all very happy about this. So that's the senior center. We have a fellow by the name of Tance Falls who continues to play baseball. He's considering renting Patriot Park, but for now, the kids are able to play baseball on Gardena. So there is a little bit of activity out there in the fields. Shannon and I were approached by a group with the sustainability department, and we're asking if we could consider recycling in our parks. So we are now going to integrate that with our garbage collection. We hope to not have to use bags anymore, which are very expensive, and we're going to integrate recycling with that, so I'll report to you on the progress. Public comment, talking with people in the park area. One person mentioned, and I thought she had a good point, that North Point Pavilion has never had a sign that indicates it is North Point Pavilion. So that's something we can look at and discuss in the future. I get a lot of comments about dogs in the park. I know that it's a new time, and I have a feeling that dogs are apparently like people's children, and they want to be able to walk their dogs in the park. And most of these people that walk up to me and comment about this, I tell them that I'll make sure it becomes part of our discussion in the future. So I have an idea with Shannon coming up with some real good ideas. Maybe we'll come up with a proposal for the board. Also had some public comment when I was at the zoo by a man who would like to use his metal detectors in the park areas. I know that metal detectors are against our rules in grassy areas, but maybe in the future I can come up with some type of proposal that would allow metal detectors by people that may be licensed, possibly like the off-the-road vehicles, the handicapped people that have licenses, that will guarantee that they'll put the sod back if they dig a hole. Now that's the problem we have with metal detector users, and we may not want to do that, and we may want to, but it's something we could discuss. And that concludes my superintendent's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shin. Any questions or comments for the superintendent?
Ed, that I think dogs in the park are pretty much all over. Because of my trips down to City Hall or to the park, I go by Pullman Playground, and it's just sometimes it looks like a dog park. So, I mean, Washington Park's not the only one that has that problem.
Any other comments or questions?
Well, I agree, Phil. In other words, right now, the rule, I take it, is no dogs are allowed in the park unless they're in the car. And I just find that something we might want to discuss, because we know that dogs in the car is not a safe thing to have in our rules. So I'll come up with a proposal. I would like some of your thoughts when I come up with this on locations of possibly designating some areas. I don't know if maybe you want it to be dogs would be allowed everywhere, or some designated areas. We can think about that and bring it back into discussion.
Any other questions or comments for the superintendent? I just have one comment. I'd like to commend you for your continued efforts with the seniors, trying to find that right balance to providing opportunities for them and managing the health risks. But the openness and the willingness of your to try to find common ground is it's good to hear, and I'm not surprised. I've seen that through some other instances with the youth and some other, you try to bring people together and find a way to get things done. So,
well, thank you.
I
And I
appreciate
think it's really due to, the research that Shannon has done also with other senior centers, and I've looked at some other senior centers, so.
it's well
that
thought
helps.
out and very thoughtful. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. Unless there are any other questions or comments, we'll move on to the liaison reports, and we'll begin with Ms. Esbar, the Planning Commission.
I'm sorry. The Planning Commission has not met again in October. We plan to meet, I believe it is next week.
Thank you. Port Authority report, Mr. Freeze.
I don't know if there's been a meeting or not. I've been under quarantine for 2 weeks, so I just got off. So I have no report.
Well, we're glad you're back. And the Zoo Society liaison, Mr. Lang.
The Zoological Society met last Tuesday night at the shelter across from the zoo, and it was a short meeting. It was a meeting outside. The weather was nice. And a couple of things that were mentioned. First of all, the Exchange Club, and Bill could give me a little more information on that, had their drawing at the DAV on Saturday, and my information tells me that there's a certain amount of that money that is coming to the Zoological Society.
Correct. As of yesterday, the report I had, our treasurer has not completed all the paperwork yet and paid all the bills.
I kind of thought that would be the case. It takes a little while to get all that together. But thank you for that.
The zoo will be receiving some money.
Right. And some of you may remember a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I was doing a commercial for Leeds Restaurant. They were serving the drink of the month, and some of the proceeds, or all of the proceeds, a certain percentage of that, were going to the Zoological Society. The drink of the month at that time was called Jungle Juice. And apparently it was rather good because the Zoological Society received $925 from Leeds for that. So it must have been pretty tasty. I asked some of the members, I said, did you taste it? I did not taste it. I did not have one. And several of them said, we had several. So they contributed to that. Also, the Zoological 5K run brought in $3,600. So that was a very, very nice chunk of change. And the last thing, next to the last thing, as Ed had mentioned, Boo at the Zoo is still on, and we hope that nothing changes. That will be on the 24th, the 25th, and the 31st. And the zoo will officially close its doors for the season on the 31st. So that's the end of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. We'll move on to the attorney's report. Mrs. Newberg.
Thank you. Well, it was brought to my attention that Super C concession, they were unable to operate the concession stand at Patriot Park this year due to the pandemic. Given the impossibility of performance, it's our recommendation that yes, this can be renewed, provided, of course, that all of the terms and conditions remain the same. So if the board wants to go ahead and do that, you may want to obtain a new certificate of insurance so that it reflects the 2021 year. But everything, again, provided that all the terms and conditions remain the same, there shouldn't be a...
Fantastic. Thank you for your research on that and your recommendation. Is that an action you would like to see tonight? Okay, sounds good.
I'd like to reach out to Mr. Valdez as well to make sure he's still interested. It's been about a month since I spoke to him.
Great. Thanks for getting out in front of that so we're not having a fire drill in the spring. So thanks for all the effort surrounding that. Any other director's reports tonight? All right, move on to department finances. Mr. Lang, please.
All right, first of all, Michigan City Park Department claims docket for October the 21st, 2020. Municipal, $58,594.83. Golf petty cash, $1,282.95. Zoo endowment, nothing nothing at this time. Brings a total claim of $59,877.78. And I so move that we meet this claims docket for October the 21st, 2020.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next on the docket is payroll number 21. This is September 20th through October the 3rd with a pay date of October the 9th. A total payroll of $56,155.99. And I say so move that we meet payroll number 21.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
All right. Next is gifts and donations. Don Carl Weinig, Boo at the Zoo donation, $79.20. The Michigan City Exchange Club, Boo at the Zoo donation, $150. Washington Park Zoological Society, Boo at the Zoo donation, $362.08. Current Electric Incorporated, Boo at the Zoo donation, $300. General Insurance Services, Boo at the Zoo donation, $300. Prendergast Agency, Boo at the Zoo donation, $150. DeVries Tire Company, Boo at the Zoo donation, $150. Deutscher Construction, LLC, Boo at the Zoo donation, $300. Michigan City Lions Club, Boo at the Zoo donation, $150. I so move that we accept these gifts and donations.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under minor transfers, Administration Fund 2056.502, a decrease in account 411.015, sick day buyback, $3,364. An increase in the account 413.004, unemployment, $1,760. An increase in account 413.017, vacation bonus, $1,604. I so move that we accept the minor transfers here for the Administrative Fund 2056.502.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under Senior Center Fund 2056.506, a decrease in the account 411.013, full-time salaries of $10,920, an increase in account number 413.004, unemployment of $10,920. I so move that we accept the minor transfer and Senior Fund 2056.506.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Lastly, the Golf Course Fund 2062.000, a decrease in the account 413.015, sick day buyback, $25, an increase in the account 413.017, vacation bonus of $25, and I so move that we accept the minor transfer in the Golf Course Fund 2062.000.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under Zoo Endowment bills, there are none at this time. Under Board of Works bills, there are none at this time. Under credit card charges, there are none at this time, and that ends the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. We will move on to comments from the public. Good evening, welcome. For the record, please just state your name and address.
Thank you. Bruce Manor, Michigan City Port Authority. A couple of comments. Number one, starting the first of the year, January, February, March, and April, and this is basically for Phil's information, we are going to be, because of the COVID situation, we are going to be meeting only one meeting a month. It'll be later in the month. I'm not sure I have the dates at home, but I didn't bring those with me, but I can get those to you, Phil, if you need those. And that depends on whether COVID is still a problem. If it's not, we'll go back to our regular schedule. But for the rest of this year, we're still on our regular schedule. We'll still be meeting twice a month until January. The other thing is, at our Port Authority meeting, I asked our attorney to reach out to the park board in terms of this filming thing that's going on down there. I'm not sure if who's ever doing this filming is going to be on Port Authority property or not. If they are, we need to know that, and we need to know it because we have to make sure that they provide their insurance for us also. So that was a discussion that we had at the Port Authority meeting, and our attorney is supposed to be reaching out to the park board, so I don't know if that's been done or not, but I just wanted to let you know that if they're going to be on our property, we have to know that, okay?
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Manor.
much.
And from what I understand, the filming was a one-day event and has already occurred and was in front of the lifeguard stand and not necessarily on Port Authority property. But to your point, it's good to know, and if that ever happens again, we will certainly coordinate that with the Port Authority. Yes,
President
sure.
Latchford,
Ms. Eason?
I failed to mention when you were approving the administrative fees that City Attorney Amber LePage Stahlbrink had submitted recommended changes to our location release. The changes are to the insurance requirements. These line up with what general insurance recommends. And there was a little bit of language added to the indemnification clauses that was distributed to the board. But that's not what was in the packet that you just approved, so I think it'd probably be prudent to make a motion to approve this separately.
I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
brought that up, Shannon. I was going to bring that up, too. I didn't want to overlook that, especially with Mr. Manor bringing up that specific filming. So I would make that motion if we could do that, to approve either separately or as an amendment to the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Department proposed fees and contracts, specifically to incorporate the modifications, edits, and additions presented by City Attorney Amber LePage Stahlbrink, and that is specifically to the fees for filming on park property agreement that was in that packet.
I would second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Very good. Any comments from the board tonight? I just have one quick comment. It's great to hear, Mr. Lang, as you went through the list of public support by local companies for Boo at the Zoo. They continue to support that event. It was just nice to hear. Any other questions or comments?
I would like to say thank you to all those people I read here that made donations to Boo at the Zoo.
Absolutely. Now, do we normally send a thank you note to those people and for their donation? Is that? Yes, I think it would be an excellent idea. Shannon, I can be happy to talk to you about that afterwards and just see if that's something that we don't do that I think we probably do in the future.
Any other comments or questions? All right, our next meeting will be Wednesday, November 4th at the same location at 5 p.m. Motion to adjourn?